Do you struggle with your chain tension not being consistent or too tight, or then working into your chain in your first row and it's just super tight and hard to get into those chain stitches? Or just things are always uneven when you have to chain, or there's so many chains and it's tedious having to go through the chain 100 and then turn and then do whatever the next stitch is into your chain row? Well, I have a solution for you. Today we are going to delve into Chainless Foundation Crochet. Welcome back. I am so glad you are here. Today is kind of cool and neat and exciting, and all my lovely beginner beaches and bros, I hope I have a solution for your troubles and struggles with those wretched chains and then the next row one that you have to work into them. Today we are doing Chainless Foundation Crochet stitches. What is that? Well, it's really kind of neat because you're making your chain and your first row all at the same time. And it kind of keeps your tension even, and you don't get that tight edge that your chains give you. Because I don't know, I am personally a little inconsistent with chaining. Sometimes too, I tend to do a little bit tighter or forget. Anywho, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We're going to have a solution today. So please hang out with me today. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and make sure your notification bell is dinged, and then show me some love with that like button if you are liking the content that I have been putting out for you thus far. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on these pretty cool Chainless Foundation Crochet stitches. Today, I'm changing things up a little bit to do and teach you these chainless foundations. I have decided I'm going to use a worsted weight yarn today, make it a little bit easier to work with and see for how to do this exactly. And because I don't have a small Susan Bates hook, I'm going to use just my regular 5.5 tapered hook that I use regularly. I can link this down below if you want to give the tapereds a chance. Now, I know I haven't really gone into a lot about how they're a little bit different. Hopefully now you have a little bit more tension control with your Susan Bates and what have you, and maybe you want to try the tapered. It's up to you. If not, if you bought the set of the Susan Bates, just go ahead and grab the 5.5 millimeter. This is, the yarn, or 5, depending on what your worsted weight yarn is using. If you're going to try your worsted weight with this, this here is Hobby Lobby's. I love this yarn, acrylic yarn. This is color Peacock. Their yarns call for 5.5 millimeter, so that is what I'm using here. I will zoom in a little closer so that you can see exactly how these foundation stitches work. Purpose of these foundation stitches is to definitely help if you're struggling with tension issues with your chaining, like say your chains are too tight, and then when you put that first row in, it kind of starts to curve and curl because these chains are super, super tight. Or your chains are super loose, but your stitches in your first row are tighter, and it's like a funky mess at the bottom. Or gosh, you're doing a million chains for a huge blanket, and that's just too much counting, and it's too much. You get lost, or your chain twists, or there's just a lot to go on. And working into the chain, especially if you're making something long and you need a lot of chains, it's tedious to try to get those first row into your chains. So chainless foundation rows are definitely very helpful with all of those problems. So what I'm going to do today is show you a foundation single crochet, a foundation half double crochet, and then a foundation double crochet. So as usual, we always start with a slip knot. Let me zoom in just a little bit more so we can see what's happening closer. Hopefully that's close enough. All right, so slip knot, however you do your slip knots is fine. There we go. I'm going to try my darndest to stay in camera. When it's super zoomed in like this, my hand's going to wander, and I'm sorry in advance. So our foundation single crochet, just like our single crochets, it's definitely our easiest one. But once you get the hang of the things, it's really not too difficult. So we're going to chain 2. Okay, so you want to turn this over. You're going to be working in the first chain, but you want to definitely flip this over and go through the back bump and then the back loop there. That's going to give you that straight edge bottom. Kind of like what I've been talking about with working in the back bumps of your chains. This is the same concept. It gives you that flat edge. So just like your finishing row is going to have a flat edge, your foundation row is going to have a flat edge, which is great. So you insert in there, and then we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, go ahead and pinch right here. It helps stabilize and keep tension. Okay. Now we are going to chain 1 right here. So this is technically our foundation, our chain. And then we have the foundation row built on top of it. So technically we're doing a chain and our single crochet row at the same time. So move your hands up and pinch right there. Keep that steady. So now we have the 2 loops that are technically the beginning of our single crochet, just if we were working into a chain. So then yarn over. I'm going to pinch that, make sure I have enough space here, and then pull through those 2 loops. And there is our first foundation chain and single crochet. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so I don't have to hold my hands up. Okay. So then next this is the chain that we made. We're coming down here to this chain, going into both loops. So yep, we're inserting into that chain. We're going to yarn over, pull through the loop, pinch up, and then we're going to chain. There's our next chain, and then this is the base for our single crochet. Yarn over and pull through. There is our second foundation single crochet. So then you'll just continue, go through these 2 loops, which is the chain, yarn over, pull up loop, definitely pinch up so that you can keep that tension there. Yarn over, this is your chain, pinch that chain so it doesn't get too tight or too loose, yarn over, and then finish your single crochet. Come back to our chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over for our chain, yarn over for our single crochet. Again, in our chain space, here's our chain, and here's our single crochet. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets. Yarning over into our chain, that got blurry, pulling up a loop, move up, yarn over and chain 1, and then pull through the 2 loops for our single crochet. This beginning is always wonky when I do it, but it's okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6. So then I'm going to go ahead and chain and turn and build on that just a little bit so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So this is just regular single crochets. This would technically be row 2 that I'm doing right now. So your foundation, your chainless foundation that we just made is technically your chain and your row 1. Okay. Hope that makes sense. So then you would do this however long you need it. If you're doing something long, I would definitely just like if you were just doing a bunch of chains, I would definitely suggest putting stitch markers in every 10, 20, 50, whatever works for you and makes sense, stitches, so that you don't get lost in counting. So, okay, there is our foundation, and then our first row, our second row, excuse me. So foundation single crochet, which is our chain and our single crochet, and then our row, technically 2 with the single crochet on top. All right, so that is our single crochet. So let's go ahead and start with our half double. All right, our foundation half double crochet starts out just like our single crochet foundation. We have our slip knot, and then we are chaining 2. Okay, now our half double is a little different because we need to yarn over, right? Because our half double starts the yarning over, and then we're going through the 2 bottom loops here, yarn over, and pull up that loop. So definitely hold this down here to keep it stable. So we have 3 loops, but we need to make our chain. So yarn over, make our chain, just like that. And now we're just finishing off our half double crochet, which is our yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so same again, yarn over, go into our chain space here, yarn over and pull up, move your finger up so that you can pinch that tension there, yarn over to chain 1, move up, yarn over, and finish that half double crochet. So if you notice in both of these, we're not working horizontally like we would if we were just making our chain and then our first row. It does make it easier because we're working kind of vertically. It does absolutely make it a little bit easier to do. And it just feels natural. Okay, next one, yarn over, insert into our chain down here. Yarn over, pull up, move our fingers up to pinch, yarn over for our chain, and then yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, repeats. This is our chain here. And then yarn over for our chain, and yarn over to complete the half double. Okay. Always make sure you're going through both of the loops down there. That way it gives you that straight foundation, that bottom, and it looks cleaner. Okay, so yarn up, and then we have our chain. And then this is to finish our half double crochet. Okay, so this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do one more. Yarn over to chain, pull through, and then 3 loops, and that finishes off our half double. So there's our half double foundation, chainless foundation. So look, you still have the loop there, the third loop, still have that, and you still have your 2 top loops, and then you have your nice pretty chain down here on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to show you chain 2. I'm going to show you technically the second row, what it would look like. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6. Okay, there we go. So our foundation, chainless foundation row is down here. So the chain and row 1, and then up here is row 2. This is the right side, and then this is the wrong side. So wrong side, right side, depending which way you're headed. All right, there's our half double. So we're really just adding in another loop by yarning over. So you can do this with any height stitch that you have. We just add loops, and then of course, I'll show you our double crochet here next. All right, let's do the foundation double crochet. Again, we are starting with a slip knot. Now with the double crochet, we are going to be chaining 3 because whenever we do our turns for double crochet, it's a chain 3, right? So it's the same concept. So 1, 2, 3, because we need the height. So we yarn over, just like we would a regular double crochet. Go through the 2 loops. Yarn over, just like our half double, we need to make that chain, and we will have 3 loops on our hook. There's our chain. And then we yarn over, and instead of going through 3 like a half double, we go through 2, right? Just like a regular double crochet. And then yarn over and finish off the other 2. Okay, now have to remember our chain does down here. So to do another, yarn over into our chain space. Whoops, missed a loop there. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Here's our chain. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 with our double crochet, and then finish off with the second 2. So here, technically this is like our chain 3 turn. This here is our first stitch, double crochet, and this is our second double crochet stitch. And our chains are down here on the bottom, as you can see. Okay, let's continue. Yarn over into the chain, yarn over, pull up, yarn over to chain, and now first half of our double, and yarn over for second half of our double. Okay, is this making sense? Is this confusing? Please comment down below what you think and how it's following along with you. So here's our first for our chain. There's our chain 1. As you see, I'm moving my fingers up to hold this stable. Yarning over to do the first half of our double crochet. And here is the second half. So that's 4 stitches. Let's do a couple more. Here is our chain 1 space. Remember, we yarn over first. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Another loop for our chain. Now we do the double crochet. Here's 1 and 2. Okay, last one. Insert into the chain space. Pull up a loop. Chain 1. And finish the double. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to turn and do the other side as a row 2. Row 2 double crochet. So there we are. As you can see, this gives you a much more flexible foundation. It's not super tight like a chain would be. There we are. Tell me what you think. I hope this was informative. I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up, and I will be with you in just a moment. What do you guys think? I don't know. I think these are a game changer. I love the consistency of our chain and foundation that we get all in one. We don't have the super tight chain edge and the loose, wobbly, wonky, and then it like curves on itself thing that goes on. I think this is a great solution. So give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Please, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below, or you can send me a direct message in both my Instagram or my Facebook accounts, which are linked down below in the description box. Or you can also send me an email at hello@enchantedYarnworks.com. Either way, I will answer all of these. I would love to see your work. I would love to see your progress. And I'm absolutely grateful that you are hanging out with me and trying to learn this new adventure called crochet. So again, I want to say thank you for hanging around and sticking with me today. If you are not already subscribed, please consider doing so and make sure that notification bell is dinged so that you are notified when all of my new videos come out. And if you did enjoy this video today, please click that like button and show me some love. I greatly appreciate that. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.